presente, velho. Tamo junto, velho. Satisfação, viado.
Friends, you take out 3 cards. Take out the Queen of Club, Ace of Diamond, and the Jack of Spades. Watch that Ace of Diamond. Because when I put it onto the table, you have to bet where it is. And when you bet where it is, believe me, you're going to guess wrong because I put the Ace of Diamonds over here. And all I did was, when I showed you those 3 cards, I made that Ace of Heart look like an Ace of Diamond. Hi, my name is Sal Piasanti. I'm an expert on casino cheating. Casinos all over the world hire me to help protect their assets. Today, we're going to be reviewing some clips from TV shows and movies on casino cheating. This scene is from Rain Man.
Olha aí o Tom.
Hey, what's your secret, guys? You cheat.
I'm sure he was joking there, but a lot of people do think card counting is illegal and it's cheating. It is not. Card counting is not cheating.
What do you see?
Well, he's not catching the whole card, and he's not pass posting this.
I don't see him using a computer.
Surveillance made some good observations. He's not catching a dealer's whole card, which means when the dealer takes his card, you're not seeing the card underneath. He's not pass posting, which means he's not adding to his bet. And he's not using computers. Now, when they talk about using computers, these are just some of the things they could be referring to. For example, if you look at these shoes right here, this shoe is the only shoe I have where it's cut away so you can actually see the switches inside it. But these computers are called perfect strategy computers. They keep track of every card that's being dealt and know exactly what's left. Once the computer decides on how to play your hand, it vibrates on this little solenoid right here.
Caralho! Meu amigo! Eu tô
Series of Morse code, dots and dashes.
E cara, eu pensava que o cara chegava lá e botava dinheiro e pegava a carta, velho.
And tells you how to play your hand. These computers right here could play blackjack better than the brain could possibly imagine. What he was doing what these computers could do, but he was doing it in his head. He was able to keep track of how many cards were left. If somebody is actually playing like that and they're winning and surveillance can't figure out what's going on, sooner or later, they're just going to label him as a card counter. They're going to back off that player and say, sir, your play is too good for us. You're allowed to play any game here except blackjack.
Something's not right. You know there's no one in the world can count into a 6-deck shoe.
That's obviously a false statement because counting down with regular conventional card counting is very easy to do on a 6-deck shoe. Just as easy to do as a single deck. All you're doing is keeping track of the ratio of high cards versus low cards. When a deck becomes really rich in high cards, it favors the player for 3 reasons. You're going to get more blackjacks, you're going to get more 20s. Number 2, you don't have to hit your 12 to 16s, the dealer must. And then 3, you have additional options the dealer...
Ei, mas ontem, mas terça-feira, na verdade, quinta-feira, né? Deu a peste e o dealer tava com a porra. Ontem deu a bobônica, meu amigo. Deu a peste, o dealer tava virado na porra. Carta baixa, carta alta, ele buscava. Podia ser a porra, cara. Até com 21, pô. O cara perdia.
Don't. You could hit, insure, split, surrender, double after a split. And no matter what card counting system you use, they are all designed to do one thing, to let you know when a deck becomes rich in 10s. This scene was from Rounders.
So, what are you guys playing?
2040 stud, that's the game I'm gonna play over.
So when they say 20-40, that's just a betting pattern that's set up for that game. Stud means they're playing 7-card stud. Everybody gets 2 cards face down, and then they get the rest of the cards face up, and then the last card is dealt face down. And you gotta play the best 5 out of the 7. That was a real false shuffle. This is the shuffle that Worm used. And these cards look like they're being shuffled. And this is exactly what he did. And you can see they're not being shuffled at all. He did a bookmark. He actually stepped back that top card. And then he shuffled. And then he just put those cards right back on top. Also, the way Worm held the deck. This is called a mechanic's grip. A mechanic...
Rapaz, que filha da puta esse careca, velho. Nunca confie num careca, meu irmão. Careca sem vergonha, bicho. Ele ainda tem um cavanhaque, velho. Eu acho que vou ter que deletar essa foto aqui, velho. Cabra safado, meu irmão. Porra, velho. É tudo capado esta porra.
Is another name for a person who cheats because a mechanic could fix things and this guy could fix games. With the deck being held in this position, I could do so many cheating moves. I could peek the bottom card right now. When I square the deck up, I can look right at it. Now I know it's an ace of hearts. As I'm squaring the deck up in my hand like this, I'm looking right at it. I'm buckling that card, but it's all hidden right here. I could peek the top card. My thumb comes to the other corner and pushes it forward. So that card buckles. It's called a buckle or a bubble peek. I could peek the top card by bringing it up on my heel. I could do the bottom deal. I could deal seconds. And in many of the old books, they say if you ever see anyone hold a deck like this, stay away. But the truth of the matter is, if you go to any casino, this is how dealers are taught to hold a deck. It's a very secure grip. So just because someone does hold a deck like this, doesn't mean they are cheating.
Well, I like what I have. Bet it's 20.
I know that look. I'm gonna fold.
People might not realize why Mike McDermott folded 3 kings. Well, cheating isn't about the moves, it's about judgment. And he knew that getting 3 kings was going to be too strong, and that's why he folded that hand. So Mike McDermott, in that scene, used proper judgment, and that's why he got out.
All right, free card. Here we go. 4th Street down.
Hold on there a
Whoa,
fucking
easy,
second.
easy. Gotta be
This son
kidding
of a bitch is base stealing. Caught a hanger, Sarge.
What is a hanger? Let's suppose I want to deal the second card instead of the top. Well, when I come out, that might happen. That's called a hanger. You can see the second card is coming out, but it didn't make it. I left that second card hanging out. So catching a hanger does indicate cheating.
What are you saying? I don't even know what you're saying.
He's saying you're dealing off the bottom of the deck.
Bottom dealing means that ace, I'm not going to deal it from the top. I'm going to deal it from the bottom. So if I was dealing, when I get to myself, I'll take it from the bottom.
Fila da puta, velho. Rapaz! Imagina, pô, no cassino, o caba lá, tá fumando cachaça, charuto, e vem ali, vem aqui, não sei o que lá, não sei o que lá, fala, meu menino Zélzio. Aí quando o cara menos espera, acabou.
Obviously, the most important part is getting the card you want on the bottom. So when I go for the shuffle, if you watch the shuffle, I peek down right there. I just saw an ace. Now I got an ace on the bottom. So I want to keep this ace on the bottom for the deal. When Worm is dealing, the person on his right, the officer, was always looking down at his hand. There were probably some strong hands that woke him up or alerted him. Worm wasn't that observant, he was just going for the money. This next scene is from The Sting.
Stack me a cooler, Pride.
Come on, bro. We'll be in the station in another hour. The other guys are the big losers. You're still okay.
Fix me a deck, 3s and 9s. I'll cut it in on Clayton's deal.
The term cooler means that you're going to cool someone out. Give him 4 3s, give me 4 9s, which is 2 really good hands. If any poker player receives 4 3s, they're going to go all in. His partner is going to take a deck of cards, same back design, same brand, and he's going to set them up. He's going to prearrange them. So when he comes out, this deck goes on top of that deck, and then the blue deck gets switched in. It comes out like that. And then this deck gets dropped into a handkerchief. So if there's 4 people in the game, everyone is going to get 4 good hands. Paul Newman's going to get a great hand, but Loneman is about to get 1 better.
4 9. 4 jacks.
The switch that he used right there, of course, it's Hollywood, but that would have been a vest switch. Here with my
Troca de colete, meu amigo, essa é troca de tiro, troca de colete caralho, careca.
Right here. So if I was going to play this hand right here, you can see they just got switched.
Caralho, velho.
Partner just...
Bicho, esse careca é malicioso, pô. Esse cara é malicioso, pô. Esse careca é malicioso. Eu quero contratar, eu vou abrir um cassino pra contratar ele, pô. Preciso conversar com ele. Vou não, Vitalia. Ó.
You can see they just got switched. Lonham and his partner just knew Paul Newman received 4 threes. But when Paul Newman turned over the 4 jacks, he double-crossed them. He was the better cheat. This next scene is from Austin Powers.
17.
Hit me.
You have 17, sir.
I like to live dangerously.
Esse filme do Austin Powers é muito bom, velho.
21.
There are cards like that you could only see with either a red lens on for luminous readers or with contact lenses, but normally it's just done with a series of dots. What I'm about to show you right now is a deck of cards that they call a juice deck. This deck does have a substance on it that if your eye is not trained to see this, I promise you, you're not seeing it. If you look at this card right here on the table, it appears to be a regular card. But when I look at it, there is one part of the card right here that is slightly darker. That indicates a king. There's a little dot dead center. That means it's a 4. Here, there are 2 dots right here, diagonal. That means that's going to be a 7. So once you just memorize that pattern, that's how you know what the card is. To train your eye to see it, first the deck is made very, 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 very strong, where anybody could see it. And then after a while, it's made lighter and lighter and lighter, where pretty soon you're the only one that can read it.
King for you, sir, and a 3 for you.
One major flaw that I've noticed in this clip is the way they were dealing. Everyone in blackjack gets 2 cards. When they showed Austin Powers' hand, he had a 3, just all by itself, and then the dealer dealt him a second card when Austin Powers should have had those 2 cards dealt in front of him from the start.
I also like to live dangerously.
As you wish, sir. 20 beats your 5. I'm sorry, sir.
This next clip is from Casino.
O cara parou num 5 e foda-se!
Now here's this guy reading the dealer's whole card and signaling his buddy at this table.
The device he used is a real device. It's called a thumper. These are the ace bandages where it gets strapped onto your body. And this is the whole device right here. This goes behind your back and this goes on your thigh. The thigh is the most sensitive part of the body, one of the most sensitive parts. And then this is a toe switch.
O cara bota no ovo, pô. Fica só ali, ó. Pá, 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 e o pau dura. Tá, 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 tá. Aí do nada o cara gosta, terminando a sessão.
This goes on your toe or
Paulo.
this goes in your pocket. Either way you want to do it. This device right here is made for signaling. Anywhere you want to get information from point A to point B, this could be used. And when you press down with your toe, you can definitely feel this thing. When this thing is vibrating, you'll feel it. If it's poker, I can tell you what hand I have. I can tell you to check. I can tell you to raise. If it's blackjack, I can tell you the whole card silently. Greatest gambling movie made, in my opinion. It's so real world. This next scene is from Ocean's 13.
Meu amigo. Caralho, cassino, velho. O cassino é um negócio muito doido, velho. Nada disso diz. Bicho, isso aí ele tá mostrando as paradas que acontecem, ô Paulo. Esse bicho ele é contratado pros cassinos, pô. Pros caras não roubar. Ele é o segurança.
Sim.
Everything all right?
I've never seen surveillance rooms that were that secure. Usually you get in with a passcode.
Ei. Pare. Na versão da porra.
Again, sir, it's in lockdown.
As far as getting locked into a surveillance room and systems going down, I'm telling you right now, that's not happening. I have never heard, I've never seen anything like that. You'll always be able to get out of a surveillance room should the systems go down.
Snake eyes, all of it.
The dice acted very, very suspiciously. These are magnetic dice right here. So these will always get 1s. If I reverse the polarity, now you're gonna get 6s on those dice. When he had the lighter in his hand, that's what was controlling the magnet. When he hit the lighter or hit the switch, that's what activated the magnet to control the dice. That's the hardest part about using magnetic dice, is to make them appear natural. You hit that magnet at the wrong time, you're just gonna see a die flip over when it shouldn't. One of the biggest flaws on that scene, remember, the casino does not have to cash out those chips. If they think something happened, the casinos can refuse to cash those chips out until they do a review. This next clip is from the cooler.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I can feel it kick.
The dice do not drop out of the sleeve into the hand. They're usually in the hand before then. Just to show you how dice can be introduced into a game, let's suppose I want to switch these blue dice for these red dice. Watch the red ones. They switch for blue.
Oxi.
And if I want to bring them back, I bring them back. See,
Meu irmão, que é isso, careca? Mão leve da puta que nem rapariga é esse, velho. Eu lembro uma parada quando eu tinha 15 anos de idade. Uma frase que eu nunca esqueci. Cuidado, rapariga tem mão leve. Fala, Swag. Saruel. Pô, Saruel, ensinou com C é foda, Saruel. Pelo amor de Deus, Saruel. Vou deletar seu comentário pra gente não passar vergonha aqui, velho. Na moral mesmo, pô, é sério mesmo. Tem umas palavras que errar, beleza, pô. Mas tem umas que pra gente errar é foda, pô.
And when you reach down and pick them up, these dice drop from the palm. At the same time, these dice trapeze up. One of the first things that Boxman is taught is when you see a shooter throw the dice, always look for a clean hand to see if someone is switching dice. The way dice is spotted, opposite sides total 7. So if I have a 6 on top, on the opposite side of that 6, there will be a 1. When misspotted dice are really used, here's what they look like. Okay? They're called tops or tees. These dice only have the numbers 4, 5, 6 on them. These dice right here are the most preferred method of cheating by professional dice cheats. They're percentage dice, they win the money fast, and you can't lose. With magnetic dice, they can act differently. The dice don't hit the magnetic field. Things can happen, loaded dice. These are guaranteed. And the only reason why they work is because the human eye can only see 3 sides of any cube. If I put this die on that table right now, you can only see a 4, 5, 6. I'm assuming that the person sitting across from me is looking right now at a 4, 1, 2. But guess what? We're all looking at 4, 5, 6s.
Let's get it, let's get it.
Oh, guys, I thank you.
So the cheaters will make their money, switch in the house dice, and keep playing till they lose.
Rapaz, eu lhe salvei, Saruel. Lhe salvei.
And then when they lose, it appears that their streak is over, walk away, and that's the end of the scam. This scene is from Runner Runner.
If he doesn't roll a 7 and crap out, this is gonna cost you 100 grand.
House kids sweat the money. Hey, shooter.
The stick person never passes the dice out with a 7 showing. That's taboo or bad luck. So that's something you'll never see.
How about this? I'll fade your action.
Fade the action means I'm gonna book the bet. Whoever wants to bet, I'll take it.
No roll.
If a stick person thinks something happened, they have the right to say no roll. That means this don't count.
Shooter, can't slide the dice. No roll.
That is a real cheating move. Watch how that looks when the other die is thrown with it. So watch this 6 get slid and watch the other die go with it. But when you see this on a full 12-foot craps table and that die is being spun rapidly, it never tumbles, it's being spun. It's a really good illusion that both dice are being thrown legitimately. On the back wall, they have this rubber that has like little triangle shapes we call the alligator. And also the wall has a lip, a 45-degree angle. So if the dice just touch it or hit those alligator part, they're gonna tumble to ensure a player cannot slide the dice.
What's shot Jesse James at 45?
If you look at the dice on this clip, you see the 2 and the 5 are next to each other. When remember, the 2 and the 5 have to be on opposite sides because opposite sides of the dice always total 7 on a legitimate pair of dice. This scene is from Schitt's Creek.
I don't think it's an accident that Bob keeps winning.
What are you talking about?
Haven't you noticed how Gwen circles the table with appetizers, constantly eyeing Bob, and then he lays down a big fat bet and wins?
Signaling is very, very dangerous. It's probably the #1 scam that goes on in casinos every day undetected when two people get involved with collusion. And when you signal to a partner, you can do it right in front of everyone. To demonstrate signaling, I want to bring in my wife D.
Véi, imagina em casa, pô, um roubando o outro. É um roubando o outro. Hã? Não, pô, pera aí, Dias, calma. É um chegando a morrão apostar. Pá, pá, pá. Hey, no roll. Oh, véi, que viagem, pô. Esses dois aí, foda cassino. Não, bicho, a cena do se beber no caso do cassino, meu amigo, é muito boa, Paulo. Isso é doido, velho. Eu não fiz nada com o meu áudio não, Leandro. Deve ter dado errado aí, mas depois ele volta ao normal. É só sentir o drama.
So if we're playing poker, remember my wife is sitting across from me. With this hand I call. If everybody else stays in, D, what do I have?
Straight.
My wife said I have a
Hétero.
straight. Is she right? She is. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in a case like this, I'm sitting there with a straight. I just called. Now she'll raise me. She has nothing, but she's going to raise me. When it gets to me, I'm going to re-raise her. If everybody folds, now when it gets to her, she'll look at her hand and she'll say, take it. And now she'll fold, and look how much money I just won. She knew I had a straight by the way I held my fingers on the back of the cards. Because I held my finger down here, that told her I had a straight. Okay, this is a fine hand. So if I go like this right now, D, what do I have?
2 pair.
2 pair. If she signals to me she has 2 pair, I want to tell her what I'm holding. D, what do I have?
8s and deuces.
8s and deuces. And that was done because of my wording. I said the word fine. Fine means 8s and deuces. So we have many different ways of signaling. This next clip is from Now You See Me.
Meu irmão, bicho, eu teria sido preso ou morto. Se os caras falassem pra mim, vamos ali trapacear num cassino.